Last thing I want to look at on the Trump riot hearings day 2 before we go to a break. There are often stories that become stories for good reason. Like, for example, that Rudy Giuliani was appearing regularly drunk in different places and was giving people bad advice on the basis of being drunk. And whenever it would come up, and we've talked about it before, there were people on the right who would just deny it. And there would be some who would come out and say, you're making fun of alcoholism. And of course, we are not making fun of alcoholism. Alcoholism is a serious disease, very serious, horrible, horrible disease. The issue was whether there are people close to Donald Trump giving him advice who are not in a proper state of mind to be doing so. And it was widely reported that Rudy Giuliani was moved from appearing on TV at night to the morning with the idea that maybe he would not be drunk in those cases. And it was just a widely understood and reported thing. Well, yesterday's hearing started with Liz Cheney. One of the things that turned out in the investigation is that Rudy Giuliani was regularly drunk and giving Donald Trump advice. And, you know, to be perfectly frank, it sort of makes everything more logical because the storyline that Trump ultimately attached to makes a lot more sense if you say it's an inebriated person storyline. It's like, okay, well, that's so obvious that it sounds like what a drunk person would say happened at the election. Take a listen.
You will hear firsthand testimony that the president's campaign advisors urged him to await the counting of votes and not to declare victory on election night. The president understood even before the election that many more Biden voters had voted by mail because President Trump ignored the advice of his campaign experts and told his supporters only to vote in person. Donald Trump knew before the election that the counting of those mail-in ballots in several states would not begin until late in the day and would not be complete for multiple days. This was expected, reported, and widely known. You will also hear testimony that President Trump rejected the advice of his campaign experts on election night and instead followed the course recommended by an apparently inebriated Rudy Giuliani to just claim he won and insist that the vote counting stop.
So one of the big questions and one of the big things that is fascistic and authoritarian is just say you won. Just say you won is sort of the motto of this entire this entire farce, right? Just say you won. And that's what Trump did. He came out at 2-something in the morning on election day and said, I won. And we now have learned it was apparently the drunk idea of Rudy Giuliani. And of course, just as a reminder, many instances of Rudy apparently drunk. Here's one that we covered. This was a 9/11 dinner where Rudy, very not with it, Rudy.
Can you imagine that Tony Blinken or Miley? How's that guy a general? Jesus. The other day, he said that the Bagram Air Force Base is not strategically important. I wanted to grab his, what do you have, 5 stars, 10 stars, 12 stars? He has so many stars that come up into his ears. I wanted to grab his stars, shove it down his throat and say, it's 400 miles from China, ass. China is going to be our enemy for the next 40 years. You have an air base 400 miles from them and you're giving it up, idiot.
Yeah, that may be the most drunk anyone has ever been at any kind of major speech. So every claim backed up by the investigation so far. Day 3 is today, and we will have more coverage tomorrow. Quick break. Back after this. Find me on Twitter at @dpacman. Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night improves sleep in many ways. Our sponsor, Chili Sleep, creates systems that cool down your bed, promoting deeper, higher quality sleep. It also just feels great. I use it at home. I'd recommend it to anyone, and I've recommended it to some friends who now use it as well. Chili Sleep's product, the Ooler, the Cube, and the Dock Pro, they're all water-based, temperature-controlled pads that fit onto your existing mattress. You can keep your bed as low as 55 degrees, as hot as 115 degrees. I like 60. Their new Dock Pro sleep system has double the cooling power of other models, 5 times the cooling contact, whisper quiet. You can control it with your phone. It's awesome. With Chili Sleep, there's no more feeling hot at night, no more sweating.
cooling your bed down like this is amazing. You really have to try it for yourself. When you go to chillisleep.com/Pacman, you'll get 30% off the Uller and Cube sleep systems and 10% off the new Dock Pro. This offer is only for my audience. The link is down below.